What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look and listen to Representative Snyder. He's going to be talking about Social Security reform. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And one more way to support us is by joining our membership. Just click the join button below. You'll get customized emojis as well as custom badges. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look and listen to Representative Snyder talk about Social Security reform. Here we go.
Thank you, and I'll say to not just my friend, my next-door neighbor, Mr. Smucker, I look forward to the conversation. I think it's important that we have it. I will challenge just one premise. I don't think it's a binary option. And Mr. Goss, I'm going to ask you about the trust fund in a second, but it's not just necessarily going to debt. There's no reason I'm not advocating this, but we could raise taxes to pay for it. There are a whole ways to do it, or we could, as was mentioned earlier in the conversation, increase the percent of income that is paid into Social Security as a piece of it. We need to have a discussion around all of those things. And Mr. Gus, I took a quick look at your biography. You're a little bit older than me. I graduated college in '83. I want to make sure that we're going to be in the same way. You were actually here in '83 when they were talking about Social Security. When I graduated, every one of my classmates and my cohort were told Social Security won't be there for you because it is insolvent. And then Congress acted. So we're talking about the trust fund being depleted. Why is there a trust fund in the first place? And I'll give the leading question. Wasn't the plan to create a trust fund for a period of time that would rise and then ultimately fall? Isn't that the design from the 1980s?
Well, the trust fund, we oftentimes refer to the money in the trust funds as a contingency reserve. This is not an advance funded program. If we were a fully advance funded program, our trust fund reserves would have to be about 25 times annual cost. We're only at about 1.5 or so times annual cost now because it's supposed to be a contingency reserve if, as some have mentioned, we were to hit another recession at some point and our income started to drop relative to our cost. We need to have some time to draw on those contingency reserves so that you all will have time to make changes to address that issue.
But the goal was to buy time in the 1980s. And here I am now, 40 plus years since then, and people that I went to school with, that I grew up with, are beginning to retire. And for many of them, their retirement and the security of their retirement is standing on a foundation of Social Security that they didn't believe would be there for them 40 years ago. But because of the work we did in this, work those before us did in Congress, extended it. And I think now it's falling on our shoulders to figure out how do we make sure that the next generation, the young people, and the young people graduating today, you know, in '83 when I graduated, we had a recession. It was the tail end of the recession, and the economy had great success ever since. The kids graduating today first graduated 4 years ago from high school in the teeth of COVID. Now are graduating, and the challenges are different. The least we can do is stand there for them. But I think there's also a way that we do it. So, you know, the Republican Study Committee's proposal of cutting Social Security by $1.5 trillion puts a burden on those who can least afford it, who are depending on Social Security. The idea of raising the retirement age, you know, life expectancy is in many cases tied, or at least there's a correlation to income. And those who are in the highest income brackets, when they retire, let's assume it's 67 right now, their life expectancy at retirement is another 20 plus years. But those who are in the lowest quintile, their life expectancy at retirement is less than 10 years. It's a factor of health, of lifestyle, it doesn't matter why. If we raise the retirement age from 67 to 70 on these people, we're literally cutting their expected retirement by fully a third. People who have worked their entire life, who have followed the rules, who have struggled their entire life to make ends meet, and we're to tell them that their golden years are going to be cut by a third, that just doesn't seem fair. So we need to have these conversations. We need to be working together, Republicans and Democrats across the aisle, but we have to do it in a way that recognizes the original intent of Social Security, an insurance program to give Americans, after a lifetime of service and contribution to their communities and their nation, a dignified and secure retirement. And that's why, Mr. Smucker, I look forward to working with you. We just have to walk one office over, but with our other colleagues to have these conversations and I do agree, we have to take it to the public And I'm grateful for our ranking member, Mr. Larson, your leadership and work, and you've done incredible yeoman's effort with Social Security 2100. How do we take this not just for another 20 or 30 years? I think earlier it was said Dr. Swagel, I think you were asked a question. You said if we took it to 90%, we would add 13 years. Okay? 13 years is great if you're in your 80s. If you're 25 years old, 13 years doesn't solve the problem. How do we add 75 years to this, to do it in a way that reflects our values as a country, the hard work American individuals and their enterprises are doing to grow our country? And so I'm over my time. I'm sure I have lots of questions for all of you, but I don't want to keep us longer. Let me just say thank you to the chairman and ranking member for this hearing. We have to get this done. It is our generation who is benefiting from Social Security that needs to make sure that the next generations have the same benefits that we have. I yield back.
Thank the gentleman.
Okay, so that was Representative Snyder. Now, if you guys have watched any of these videos that I've been posting, why are these lawmakers not asking questions? You saw at the very end there, he said, you know, my time is up, but, you know, there are a lot of questions that I would have liked to ask or that I'd like to ask. Why didn't you ask those questions? You made a lot of statements, and some of them I agree with when it comes to reforming Social Security, the time is now, and working together and all. I agree with all of that, but you have the experts sitting in front of you. Ask them some serious questions so you'll have the information that you need, so when you sit down with Representative Smucker or whoever else, you'll have the information to say, look, let's go this way because the experts say if we go this way, we can do this. But he's not asking the questions. That's what I don't understand. You're not there. Your 5 minutes is not just so you can grandstand and say whatever you want to say. Your 5 minutes is so you can ask questions, serious questions about reforming Social Security. That's what you're there for. A lot of in the questions that he did ask, it was kind of leading questions where he already knew the answer, but he just wanted to hear the experts say it out loud. Learn something new. That's what you're there for. That's why the experts are there. That's why they have the hearings, so you can be informed, so you can get the information that you need. So I just, I really don't like that when I hear these lawmakers just sitting there and just making statements and asking leading questions that they already know the answers to. You're not going anywhere. I mean, you're not learning anything. And now's the time where you need to learn all you can from these experts, because you can use that in order to provide a solid reform to Social Security. So I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.